Arkle 1964 here, another racecourse, this time Sedgefield, day after my last one to Market Rasen, which is yesterday, as I was saying yesterday. Unwanted and expected excitement to Durham. I'm going to get the bus from Durham. I got to Newcastle to Durham, down the bus from Durham to Sedgefield. And the Durham bus station is completely redeveloped. I had to find where Stand K was, so I had to find where the bus actually now left from for until the bus station's redeveloped. I'm just following on my comments about the Market Rasen, thinking about this. And was parading and the trainer's son who was in it. And I said, I'm not going to name them. And I'm certain they're 8 years old. I'm actually convinced of that now. And they should have been 12 or older. And I did think there might be a logic, maybe I think I must have known he was there. It wasn't like he sneaked him in. His son was out with this trainer all day. Literally, I kept seeing them together around the racecourse. And clearly, I'm sure he said in his past to his son, generally to watch out for with horses. He's been, I think, all his life, his kid with horses. So advice. So I mean, it's not like a member public, so to speak, or an owner or whatever, of an 8-year-old there. But I still think it's the wrong decision. I don't know why he was allowed in. He shouldn't have been, in my view. But we'll see what happens about that. Sedgefield, it's about the 4th time being to a racecourse for a meeting. I've been twice to Turton Peeve event, and the second time, I'd have said this before, didn't realise that Weaver had cancelled buses or changed the timetable. Weaver left outdated timetable searchable on Google, and it was actually saying was 10 o'clock or even 11 o'clock bus out of Sedgefield to Durham, and then found out that it's been about 2 years earlier. Stranded in Sedgefield after the second time Turton Peeve event, had to get a £35 taxi. It wasn't even that long a journey, but I just could not find a taxi upon this company. And then I was saying before, the single for Kirby, given a tip for a horse and a mare's hurdle. And I thought all I'd back it when I was I think it was in this tip, it's 100 to 1. And I've got a few quotes, I've got £5 each way maybe, I can't remember what I put on it. But it came second, and blow me, I made 150 quid, even taking off the £35 taxi fare profit. But of course, I don't know what's happened, so I probably won't go back to that preview event, sadly. It was quite a good event, but I just can't get back from it. In Durham station after a meeting, perfectly nice meeting at Sedgefield, very, very busy though, and it was because there was a massive amount of students, mainly from Durham, I suspect. Well, I did actually see some nice looking young women. I guess I met her at West Jesmond, where I get off at actually later on. And I saw me later on, I went up to a meeting as well. So a couple of nice young girls, so I would say, well, I use young, about 18 to 20 anyway. But it was it was so busy. It's a social event, obviously, with Durham and possibly Newcastle University youth students as well, I think. Which is why we're 2 in West Jesmond may have been there. But I say it was really, really busy. Actually, for Durham National, was standing towards the red line winning post. I couldn't even tell if a commentator was, never mind what was saying. I've said Sedgefield, and I said in previous videos, I've issue with winning racing company, also known as ARC, where they run things or race courses, could have maybe sort of be now speak quite a bit. Certainly, because you just could not hear what was happening. I started the last few races, watching it further down the course. And I could tell it's actually Darren Owen doing the commentary. I know of Darren Owen. I couldn't even have told the first 4 races that he was doing the commentary. It was absolutely so busy. I don't mind students though, particularly. I didn't seem to cause any trouble. And he needs to promote people to get them racing, and hopefully come racing again. Had a decent enough pint of Duncow in Sedgefield. There's also a Duncow in Durham, but this was one in Sedgefield. So that was nice. I've got the bus, got to Durham, and another very nice Brains Darker Beer or some milk, I don't quite know what it was, at the station house in Durham. I did look at a 7% IPA when I realised it was £6.80, and I thought, that's a bit more than I want to pay, frankly. So it looked interesting, but no, I went for the station house. It was nicer Brains Darker Beer. So the next race meeting's Aintree back in 7 days' time, of course on Sunday again, for the Old Rowan Chase meeting, and it's booked, apart from Doncaster, December the 29th or 28th, I think it's 29th. The reason I've done that so early is simply with advanced train tickets have become much more expensive on COVID, and so quite simply it's just cheaper to book them now. You normally would not be too bothered about doing it too early, but they're saying with train tickets it can be more expensive. There's a few options in Newcastle, and I'll think about it. One I probably will do in the afternoon meeting with a couple of them. I'll see what the race quality is. If it's 10 grand plus to a winner race, basically, I'll turn up. If there's not, I won't. second race I'd like to have done, listed race at Taunton, a listed race at Warwick. The train's just too expensive. For being about 60 quid total cost there and back to Warwick. Taunton will probably be a bit more, but especially if we could cheap tickets, say Warwick via Carlisle. I'm not sure I can. I think it'd have to be, unfortunately, via Birmingham. It tends to be a lot more expensive. I'll consider it, but it's just because of COVID again. With advance tickets are so much more expensive. There's 2 listed events there. I set up previous videos. I beat every group and graded race now in Britain, bar the new James Dixon Chase. James Dixon Chase. Do apologise, I said James Dixon. James Dixon Chase is that I was thinking about in my mind is the only UK graded group race I've never been to, bar the one I'm talking of. But that's held in Down Royal, and Down Royal and Down Patrick are actually run by the Irish Horse Racing Board, as the horse racing like Rugby Union is an all Irish sport. What I meant to say was the new Libertine Chase, the Cheltenham Festival, because no crowds were allowed on that one. As I said before, I'm not sure. I'm not convinced it will always necessarily be on the same day. It was on a Friday Gold Cup Day this year. Yeah, but I'm not sure it will always be on Gold Cup Day. I know the first year the bumper was held, it was changed its day the second year to where it is now on the day of final race on Wednesday. So I have to. So it's a bit of a. I don't want to pay a lot of money for Gold Cup and then find out it's the wrong race, because Gold Cup was a great day. There's a lot of money, especially with training as well. So that's. So what I mean is here, what I was talking about is I'm going for also listed races as well, getting rid of some of them. Some like I could have gone to this year, Goodwood, both the July course and the Royal Mile course at the Newmarket. But it's just, if someone wants to pay for me to do that, fine, great, pay me, or pay half the cost. So we train ticket, and of course ticket I'll turn up. But unless someone's willing to do that, I'm afraid it will cost a bit too much. So maybe some of the race meetings I'll consider. We did think of Kelso, but there's a place on bus service between Newcastle and Berwick. It takes me 2 hours to 40 minutes on a train, and then bus to from Berwick and Kelso back again. The whole thing is just a bit of a hassle. I've got something else I can do then. Aintree I'll probably do the December, I think it's the 4th meeting. I did consider we swapped the Grand Sefton Chase to the November meeting, and I was going to do that, and then I did have other plans possibly on that day. I realised I could just go to the Beach Chase instead. So I do just a look at. I want to do Aintree twice this year, and I think I don't have anything else so far. I'll see if anything comes up. I keep track of the BHA fixture list and prize money. See if there's decent coming up, but it'll probably be in the northeast or possibly outside the northwest. But we'll see what happens later on.